All right, so we are now live on Usapang Musiko Season 2. Happy New Year, guys. This is my first stream of the year for this podcast. So, New Year, new you, no? It's like the most used like New Year's resolution, like you have something new to offer for this year or you have to change something. So, for everyone, I think 2020 was a year of growth. You can say that, no? There was a lot of time in our hands that we tried to learn new things. A lot of people started picking up musical instruments because they had a lot of time and they thought, why not try it out? No? And I think after 1 year, a lot of people were expecting that uh, they would be so good at the instrument already that they took up not necessarily violin, no, but I've seen people take up different types of musical instruments that they wanted to learn. Some of them are like, "Oh, this was my childhood dream back then to learn the instrument, but I didn't have time." Now that they have time, they try to learn the instruments, but some of them got frustrated because they didn't learn it quickly enough, maybe, or they're looking for something else, or they're looking for more improvements to themselves, but they haven't reached that goal yet. And we will talk about a few reasons why you might not be improving as much as you need to, or as much as your potential is, and what can you do to further enhance yourself in the craft that you're uh, looking after. For example, if you're learning the violin, why aren't you improving at a faster pace? Or if you're learning the piano, why aren't you learning it in a pace that is quite acceptable for you to be learning it in? Okay. So basically, especially for those adults, as adults, kasi we all have this thinking that we can do things on our own. It's like it's human nature to be more independent as you grow older. And a lot of older people were trying out musical instruments because it was some like unfulfilled dream of them theirs when they were young, no? Some of them took it like that, and having the resources, like the money to actually buy the instruments for the first time in their lives, and the time that they have, they thought that it would be enough to for me to actually be good at something. And some of them might be a little frustrated for what they have achieved and how can they actually improve on this, no? So basically, we just have to understand that our growth and the pace at which we're going at will always depend on how much experience we have already gathered and knowledge behind the concepts of all the things that we already know. Okay? It's like if someone already knows how to sing, no, it's easier for them to identify tones and pitches. Or if someone already knows how to read notes, it's easier for them to speed up the note reading problems that the other people may encounter. So it's because you're old enough. It doesn't mean you're good enough at certain skills. No, it's not about age. No, and your improvement will vary depending on all those experiences you've had. For example, if you, as a kid you were playing the piano already, and you already have experience in note reading, understanding music theory a bit, and you just want to learn another instrument that also uses those skills that you already have, so it's easier for you to improve. But if you have no idea or no background at all and want to tackle something, of course, your improvement is drastically slower than those who already have a little bit of an idea of what they're doing. Okay, so I have three things, no? This isn't just for those adult beginners, but also for people who think that they have reached their potential and are frustrated enough that why am I not getting better? It should be like this, should be like that. I should be already playing at this speed or at this rate, but still not improving. And I pinpointed out three main reasons on why you might not be improving at a rate that you want. The first thing is lack of discernment. Okay. For you to improve, you have to first understand that there are things that you might be doing wrong or things that you might be doing right. So you have to judge yourself, which part am I doing correctly or which part am I doing incorrectly. And if you don't know what to improve, what to take away and what to add, it's not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere at all. It's like you're moving in circles. If you don't know which part of you're playing or your skill set to improve, you won't be able to improve. No, you just be there in a constant struggle to find that thing. So if you know that you're playing out of tune, for example, but you're not listening enough, knowing you know that you're playing out of tune, but you're not trying to decipher which part am I playing out of tune, for example, you won't be able to fix that problem. Diba? So you first have to fix those things that you can actually identify that are maybe wrong or is not enough, or you're maybe doing something too much. And then the other one, right? So to be able to grasp on that idea or those concepts that you can actually work on or actually improve upon, those are the things that you can work on. But you have to really find a way to discern or uh, choose between the rights and the wrongs. And how can you do that? It's by listening more effectively, maybe. It depends on the problems that you're actually trying to fix. Another thing is listening to your body by means of trying to figure out, is this feeling correct? Is this position correct? Is my hold correct, for example? Or is the way I'm reading the notes correct? Am I supposed to read it one at a time or should I read it by group? So those kinds of things that you don't actually, I think a lot of people give importance to those things, no? Those are small details that can help you improve a lot. Like, for example, I've been teaching some of my colleagues, like it's just reviewing them, no? Um they think that they're already doing it correctly. For example, they're doing it correctly. I mean, as long as you're sounding good, it's supposed to be correct, right? But sometimes we tend to forget that we're doing something wrong, not drastically wrong, but a little tweak here and there could drastically improve a lot of things in your playing. And by doing so, you can achieve more for what you're achieving now. And that would actually kickstart the whole improvement that you can actually achieve. So that's for discernment. So you have to understand which things are right and work on them more, and drop everything that might be wrong or not helping you in improving yourself. So those are the things. No, you can't really take everything. No, that's the thing about improvement, is you have to drop something off so that you can uh continue your journey. Like there's always going to be a burden of some sort that will come as you're improving in your musical journey, and you have to throw away some of those burdens or some of those problems that you already carry so that you can get more knowledge, more skills into your system. uh, of course, they say learning, if you're learning, you have to be a sponge, but a sponge can only carry so much weight of its own, right? Like if you put a sponge in a bucket of water, you won't be able to get all of those water inside the sponge. You can only get as much. But you have to select the quality of water that you let yourself into. And that's discernment, no? The right judgment of things that you need to understand and further yourself in the craft that you're in. All right. The second thing is the comfort. Okay. comfort is a very dangerous aspect, no? I mean, it's the goal to be comfortable in what you're doing. But with so much of it, you get complacent. And once you get complacent in being comfortable, you would drop everything that would make you better, no? For example, you're already playing in a high level, let's say professional level player. But a lot of people would try to tell you oh, you can improve your bowing, or you can improve your technique, your left or right hand technique. But if you say it's okay, I'm already doing it, no? And that could lead you to not actually improve anymore. And that's the danger, diba? Because everyone needs to improve, and everyone still should be improving way after their studies in university, or after all their lessons, because it's the main goal of music, to be better than what you were before. It's not a competition in any way, but sort of a competition between yourself yesterday and yourself today. So you have to be better than yourself yesterday. And you can't do that if you stay in your comfort zone. We always talk about going out of your comfort zone. So if you're already super comfortable with what you're doing, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do something different, and try to be comfortable with that technique that you're trying as well. And when you're comfortable again with the things that you have, try something else that will make you feel uncomfortable. It's a process. No, it's never a product. Music is never just a product. It's a process that you have to go through. You have to be ready to be uncomfortable doing different tricks, positions, and everything else in order for you to improve. Because if you won't do those things, you'll be stuck in the comfort zone, which is actually a more dangerous zone than being uncomfortable, because you can get used to being uncomfortable, but you can take away comfort, because if you're already used to being comfortable, you don't want to. It's say it's addicting to be complacent, to be in a place where you can be so predictable. Everyone knows what they need to do. And if you're stuck in that position, no, it's hard for you to actually improve more. And it will stagnate your improvement, or worse, you can even regress, because you're only going to work on your strengths. It's like the same thing as just working on your strengths. If you just work on your strengths and not focus on the weaknesses that you have, how can you say that you get better, right? It's a dangerous place to be comfortable. So try to find new ways to improve yourself. May it be from the standard ways of learning, or finding new ways of understanding. Maybe play a different genre, for example, and just try out new things with your instrument, or in life in general, no? It's the same thing. So never be super comfortable. Once you get the hang of things, try new things. That's how you improve. I mean, it's the process that you have to go through. And of course, it's not easy, no? It's hard. It's hard. Nothing easy ever comes, diba? Nothing great ever comes easy. So you have to really work for things that you want, especially to improve in music, because we have so much information, so much knowledge, so much concepts that we already have. The only problem is we don't take them in, and how we take them in, no? Because yeah, we're comfortable with what we have already. So it's a very dangerous place. So as long as you feel stuck, or if you're feeling so relaxed with what you're doing, those are two different things, diba? But they could bring the same results, which is you not improving anymore. Okay. And one of the biggest things is this. The third reason why you're not improving as much or not improving at all is the lack of proper feedback. Okay. Even though you have all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips, no, even though you already know that you're doing it correctly, if no one can tell you that you're doing it right or if you're doing something wrong from someone you someone you trust, the feedback of other people is still important. It's very, very important. You don't need to get a teacher if you don't have one or you can't afford one, but at least get someone you can trust that will tell you the reality of where you are at now and just work with it, no? Because if you're not going to take your feedback whether it's good or bad, you don't know where to begin. It's the same thing as guidance, no? This is why you always need to have a teacher, a mentor to guide you. It's not They're not there to spoon feed you what you need every now and then, but they are there to check on you if you're doing it correctly or not. And it's gonna help a lot, no? You don't need to take lessons weekly if you can't afford it. Or at least have someone check on you, like someone you know is credible enough, someone you can trust, and someone you can actually gain knowledge from. Okay? It's hard kasi then to have feedback from your friends because your friends will always tell you that you're doing good even though you're not. No? This is something that some of your friends will walk on eggshells for you if you ask them, especially in playing, because artists are pretty temperamental to say the least. And you don't want to hear negative things from your friends. You're lucky if you have friends that would tell you the truth, no? To give you proper feedback, no? I'm lucky to have those types of friends who tell me, you're not doing it correctly or you're sounding like this or like that. No? And I actually lost friends because I was being honest. And it's a real thing that happens in the music industry. No, if you tell someone, "Oh, I think you're not practicing enough," or "I think you're playing that passage not incorrectly," so you might offend some people, and that's the reason why you don't actually try to get feedback. Para lang so that you can really just be neutral about it, no? Ask someone else na maybe you don't generally have the same circles with, para you get this feedback that is genuine enough, that is blunt and honest enough so you can really improve. And I think this goes back to being comfortable because if you're tired of hearing, "Oh, you're playing good, you're playing good," if people just say you're playing good when deep inside you, you know you're not playing at the level you want to, having other feedback that may be negative in a way but can construct your learning in another manner that will make it better, it's better than getting the same, "Oh, you did good," every time, no? Like in the movie Whiplash, there's this line in the bar where they said that the worst phrase in the English dictionary is "good job," something like that. Something like that, yeah. So yeah, you should always try to find ways to improve because that's the game. And if you're not improving at a rate that you are currently uh you want to improve in, maybe you just have to check yourself and try to find these three things. Of course, there's a lot more things of or reasons why you're not improving. Um it could be your instrument's not that good and your instrument can't uh, supply you with the things that you want from your instrument, something like that. It can be a factor as well, but most of the time it's not. Okay, most of the time that happens when you're super advanced now. But if you're using you're beginning, it's not gonna happen yet. You haven't outgrown your instrument. Don't think about it that way. If you're not improving, it's more likely of these three again: you not knowing what's right or wrong, that's lack of discernment; you being comfortable with what you're doing already, and too comfortable at that; and then the lack of proper feedback. So basically, you can fix all these things on your own, except for number three, of course, because um asking for tips from strangers, no, and people you don't know the credibility of, can either make or break your spirit, no. So make sure to ask people that are genuinely concerned. So I hope this helps you out if you are really struggling right now. So try to find ways in order for you to be better. And of course, you have to also understand that it's not time bound. Improvement is not time bound. You can practice 5 hours a day, and someone can practice 2 hours a day, but still be better than you. No, it's about being mindfulness, being focused on your goals, on your aspirations, on your dreams, on what you want to achieve. Is it attainable at this point in time? Is it, can you really do it? Those are the things you need to actually ask yourself as well. So, those types of understandings or things you can really work on. And if you really need help, always you can always ask people for help, especially in these trying times. It's it's frustrating if you haven't been improving, let's say for over a year, because you might think that, oh, I'm not worth doing, it's not worth doing this, but it was your, like, your dream for your whole life to be doing this, diba? Because sometimes just the pure strength of pushing through something won't help in improving. Because how do you improve is you put your perspective on the listener. That's how you really judge yourself. That's how you measure yourself, by looking away from yourself. And by doing so, you understand, oh, this is what the people hear. And if I would play, I wouldn't want to hear it that way. So it's very objective if you want to improve. It's not going to be fully subjective, no. Especially at the earlier points of your journey, because at the early stages of learning instruments, it's not about musicianship and expression. It's about the proper placement, the proper techniques, the proper holds. It's all about the mechanical things, or more of the technical side, more versus the musical side that will come in later if you're already improving on your basic facilities. So I hope this podcast has helped you out a lot. Again, happy new year to everyone. I hope 2021 can be a year of uh more growth, or a year you can thrive really working on the things that you want to do, not just in music but in life in general, no. With the rate that we're going at, I don't see us going back to the streets again for quite some time, maybe a few, but it's not going to be 100%. But let's just hope for the best and always prepare for the worst. And that's how life is, no. And again, thank you for joining me on Usapang Musiko Season 2. This is Ryan Monakil, and I'll see you on the next one Follow me on all my socials, links down in the description box below. And of course, thanks to Anchor for our podcast. See you on the next one.